I'm back, bitches.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to #AskGSM for Wednesday, July 15th, episode 346 for 2020. I am Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well. Joined once again for the second consecutive week. Was not even planning on this. If you looked at the hashtag for the show this week, Alexis, you're back. Welcome back.
You're welcome, everyone. I know you're all looking forward to this. It's nice to see you all, or I guess be here.
To talk to you all.
It's nice to talk and have you guys listen to me all.
So we're back for episode 346 here today.
Yes.
It was not originally planning on having you on, but we're recording late. You're here. Why the hell not? People, don't get used to this. I know people are excited to hear Alexis back here on the show. It's not going to be a regular occurrence. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. Probably not. Don't bank on it. I would love to do more live streams in the future. The only issue I've run into with doing live streams for hashtag, we did one last week. It worked out very well. We had fun with it. The only problem is I don't want to sit here and say, oh, we're going to do it every Wednesday at 11. Literally every Wednesday is different than another.
Yep.
Literally every week. Like, there's shit I still have to do that I haven't had time to do. So I don't want to sit here and say, oh, we're going to go live at noon every Wednesday. Like, I would love to. But in this current situation right now anyway, I'm going to have to say no. So we're just doing a recording here today. Again, episode 346, saying that for the third time. Alexis is back, and we're answering your questions from Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to send in a question to the show, you can do so by tweeting me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Graham.gsm.Matthews. Leave a question on the post I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, drop your question down below in the comment section of this very video. I'll include your question in next week's edition. Before we go any further, gotta plug this real quick. DailyDDT.com right now. You're probably not listening to this before NXT. I'm highly doubt this goes live before the show starts. Tegan Nox, exclusive interview with hopefully the next NXT Women's Champion. I'm not going to say it is going to happen, but I would love for it to happen. Tegan Nox, my conversation going on right now with the number one contender over on DailyDDT.com. I'm laughing as Alexis is snarling at me in the moment.
Why?
I'm a big Tegan fan.
You want to tell them why?
I'm a big Tegan fan. I love me some Tegan Nox. I do.
Love you some
love
Tegan
it.
Nox.
Just like you love yourself some Johnny Gargano. So let's not
Okay,
even
that's
start
in a
with
different way, though.
I-
Johnny Gargano
I-
looks like
Did I ask
Lacey
Tegan
Evans'
Nox
husband.
to marry me? Yeah, he's
Not yet.
No, first of all, he looks better than Lacey Evans' husband.
Yeah,
he
he
belongs
does.
under a fucking bridge because he looks like a troll. Moving right along here, no Laura from YouTube. Favorite WrestleMania moment and what WrestleMania match gave Shawn Michaels the nickname Mr. WrestleMania? My favorite WrestleMania moment, being there for WrestleMania 33, watching the Hardy Boys come back. It's the greatest moment I've ever seen, period. In person, in general, I will never live that down, and it's been 3 years, so I gotta say the Hardy Boys coming back. But what about you, Alexis? Your favorite WrestleMania moment? We went to 135 last year. Anything on that show?
What?
Well, I was gonna say, well, go ahead, and maybe, I don't know if it's what I'm thinking, but go ahead.
I have two. The first one I instantly thought of was when Seth won
Rollins.
the
Okay,
championship.
yep.
Because I like when the underdog wins, and he was the underdog at the time, so I freaked out and I lost my voice. Another one was when Joan Jett played Ronda Rousey's theme.
Yep.
Oh my god, I went insane for that. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was a great entrance. What match gave Shawn Michaels the nickname Mr. WrestleMania? That's a good question. I don't know. Actually, we watched the Untold on Shawn versus Kurt from 21 that Johnny Gargano was on around WrestleMania time this year. They said on that episode, I think it actually might have been Johnny who said it, that Shawn Michaels, despite having been with the company for a long time, did not start calling himself Mr. WrestleMania until that Kurt Angle match. So I'm going to say that one. He had a lot of good WrestleMania matches before that with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12, the first ever Iron Man match on TV. That match, God, what else? The triple threat from WrestleMania 20. He was in the Chris Jericho match. I would probably say the Kurt Angle match, I think, earned him the nickname Mr. WrestleMania. He was already calling himself before that, going into the show, but he really earned it with that match. Gadim Gomez, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Hey Graham, love your channel. Saw SmackDown rather, and it was unbearable to watch. I stayed away from SmackDown because of the karaoke segment, which was absolutely 110%. Or he just said 100, but I'm going to throw in the 110. 110% atrocious.
Yeah, it was.
with Vince not giving a shit about the women's division, with no Becky Lynch and Charlotte, do you think WWE should make an Evolution 2 pay-per-view as a WWE Network exclusive after SummerSlam, or just wait for the fans to come back? I already got Evolution 2018 on DVD, and the event was so fun to watch. It was a great show. I think Solomonster said this on a show the other day. It was, in fact, the best pay-per-view of 2018. Mm-hmm. You didn't get a chance to watch it, I know. No. We'll watch it at some point as part of our pay-per-view rundown.
Yeah, I did watch one of the matches, though, right?
We watched Charlotte and
Becky, right?
Becky and the Last Woman Standing.
Oh, my God, that was so good.
It's a great match. Best women's match, I would say, in main roster history, not including NXT.
Wow.
Yeah, high praise. It was that good of a match.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with Evolution, I would love for it to come back. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they should wait for fans. I don't want to nitpick. I honestly would love if they did it right now. I would. I really do. I don't know. I don't know. I'm past the argument now where you got to wait for fans and whatnot. I just don't see that happening anytime soon. I really don't. So we're going to wait until next year? It's already been 2 years. Mm-hmm. The issue right now with the women's division is that they don't care about most people outside of the 4 horsewomen. What's even worse is that 2 of the 4 horsewomen aren't even here right now.
And they don't have Ronda Rousey.
They don't have Rousey. They headlined that show with Nikki Bella, who they don't have anymore, which I could give 2 shits. But, like, in their mind, that show was sold on Nikki versus Ronda.
Well...
And they don't have any one of those women right now.
Yeah, my problem is I don't think they should do it at all right now, because if they do it, it's going to be terrible, because they're not going to actually put any effort into it. They're just going to do it and... Just do it just to make money, basically. They're not going to actually make it good or have these women be taken seriously, which is ridiculous. It's like they emphasize this whole thing on the women's evolution, how far they've come. But then as soon as their 3 or 4 women that they use 100% of the time are gone, Ronda, Becky, Charlotte, and whatever.
Billy and Sasha are the only ones that are actually doing anything right now. I mean,
exactly.
Shayna's back, Bianca's back, cool, but like...
But for how long?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to lose the net. Like, I don't trust that.
Yeah.
But they're going to be here. And then once they, like, when they're gone, like, those 3 women left, they're not going to put that much effort into it because they don't give a shit about the other women, which is ridiculous and it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's been my issue since Ronda left, is that they really haven't put too much effort into the women's division on either show. And what makes it even worse is that Becky and Charlotte are gone. Like, at least before you could say, okay, and I've said this before, they need to start building up women outside of the 4 horsewomen, because when one of these women goes down with an injury, gets pregnant, leaves, quits, whatever, they're fucked. And they find themselves in that position right now with Charlotte being gone for the foreseeable future and Becky being gone for at least a year and a half, if not more. Yeah. So they have Sasha, they have Bayley. That's great. They have women. I'm not saying they don't have women. Like, it's not 2010 where we have to rely on Alicia Fox versus fucking Melina as a Divas Championship feud. Like, they have...
Wait, Melina was in the WWE?
Oh, yeah, Melina, Alicia Fox, that girl Kelly, Eve Torres, who we met at the big event a couple months ago.
Yikes.
What do you mean, yikes? Eve was great. You don't even know who she is.
Is that the one with the red hair?
No, that's Eva Marie. No, she was terrible.
I'm talking about any of them. I don't really care about them.
Yeah, you didn't watch back then. I mean, I didn't care about most of them either. I didn't give 2 shits about Alicia Fox, but, like... Eve Torres was really good. That's besides the point. They have the talent now. They had Shayna. Where was she for the last 2 months?
Exactly. They have Shayna. Ruby Riott, actually, I'm starting to like.
Okay, they're starting to do more with her. Like Bianca, they just brought her back after how long?
For no reason. For no reason.
Yeah, she sat home. She was doing main event for no reason, so.
Unless she had COVID or something and I didn't know about it.
She was on main event.
She was?
Yeah, she's been on main event like literally every week for 3 months.
Okay, well then for what?
So it's not like she's not there.
Yeah.
I know the Street Profits have been gone recently, but that hasn't affected her, so. Anyway, she's on Raw this week, but I wouldn't mind if they brought it back. I think they might bring it back as Solomonster. I haven't heard this rumor, so I'm not really sure where this is coming from. The whole Tessa thing, that they might bring it back, that Tessa in the main event.
I'm not a fan of that. I just think Tessa should be out of...
I think they should wait a little while before bringing her in anyway.
Well, I also think that, but like it's not a good look for them, especially what's going on right now and like the whole thing that happened with her.
Yeah, I don't know why you would just fire all these people and then hire someone.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either.
Why would you you're gonna deny Rey Mysterio a raise but hire Tessa Blanchard? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, if I was Rey Mysterio and I found that, I'd leave.
I'd be fucking pissed if those other people got fired. But anyway, yeah, I could see them bringing it back. I wouldn't mind it. But it doesn't really feel like now's the right time. It's not a fans, no fans thing. I just don't think now's the right time.
Exactly. It doesn't matter to me because WrestleMania was without any fans and it wasn't that bad at all. Like, it wasn't terrible. But
I mean, it would help, but
it would obviously help. But the problem is the fact that they don't care about the women that are there right now because they're not going to make them immediate cash, you know, like Ronda.
I agree.
So whatever, you know.
At Colin_McAndrew, should AEW make the FTW title a sanctioned, regularly defended championship? No. I love how he said that in unison. He actually did defend it last night on Dark against Brian Pillman Jr., which is cool. It was a total squash, of course.
Yeah,
but
you're the only one.
Who gives a fuck? No, he's not saying they should.
No,
he's just saying
I was referencing last week.
Maybe he was. Wait, what about last week?
Remember last week he's like, am I the only one that doesn't like Candace as a heel?
Oh, no, that wasn't Colin. That was someone else, but yeah.
I know.
That was
John.
He did actually respond to the show, by the way. He said that he would love to do like a 3-person show at some point.
Yes,
so
yes.
We'll have him back on the show at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. How can you say, I'm not saying that Colin is saying this, but how can you say, oh, WWE has too many titles, and then saying, oh, we need more titles for AEW? Listen, I like the TNT title. The design sucks, but like the title itself, they need a mid-card championship. They have it. They needed a women's championship. They have it. Tag team, world, everything's fine. They don't need more titles. They're good. They don't need a second, like a 24/7 champ. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, no, I think they're good. It's like NXT. Like, they don't...
Well, NXT is a cruiserweight, but like that's a little different. They have a cruiserweight division. They don't have a cruiserweight division for
They don't really
They have a
need
bigger
to
roster, too.
Yeah, they don't really need to have a cruiserweight division, I feel like, in AEW.
No, they don't. But he's just saying, like, make it a secondary title. Like, no, they shouldn't even have the championship to begin with. Like, I agree with the masses. I don't give a shit about the FTW title. I really don't. It was cool to see. I know what it was. I'm not a massive ECW fan. It was associated with Taz. It's cool, but it's not like, oh my god, like the hardcore championship or something. Like, I don't know, or like if they brought back the European title for someone's gimmick, like let's say Cesaro brought it back or some shit, and he pretended to be like, you know how Moose like pretends to be a fucking like champion, like that type of thing. That would be cool. But as a regularly defended title, who cares?
I still don't understand the concept of people pretending to be champions. Like, I've never understood that.
They think they're a champion.
Like, that, okay. Like,
he has the belt, so he thinks he's a champion.
I know, but it's like, for what? Like, I don't...
He thinks he's a champion.
I don't know. I just don't really think that adds to anything.
No, but it makes him look like, he's delusional and he thinks it's a real championship. It's not often. I mean, this doesn't really... They did have it defended, which was weird, but anyway, the Moose thing is a little different because they're building to something with him and like a TNA guy, even though he's facing fucking Tommy Dreamer on Saturday, which is weird. Before we go any further with the Twitter questions, there were a couple Facebook questions from FD that I didn't write down here in the document, so we'll go back here. His first question from Facebook. So this week's Monday Night Raw sadly continued their record of the lowest rating in the show's history with a rating that doesn't even reach 1.6 million viewers throughout 3 hours. That's pretty bad. My biggest question is, do you feel Bruce Pritchard has failed so far to make Raw must-see on Monday nights in terms of how he tackled the creative standpoint post Paul Heyman's dismissal? Also, do you feel that it's now time for WWE for a full creative overhaul in order to improve on their ratings again? Finally, do you expect that AEW and NXT on Wednesday nights, with their combined ratings, could eventually beat the Raw ratings on the same week, given that the major sports, are coming back after their long absence due to the pandemic? Lot to get to there. The ratings are shit. The ratings continue to be shit. I don't give a fuck about the ratings, but the fact they have progressively gone down is very bad. Like, literally in 5 years, they went from having 3.5 million to 1.5 million. Pandemic or no pandemic, the ratings have been in the toilet, for a long time now. I don't agree with Solomonster when he had said, like, oh, they'll always have their 2 million viewers. Well, they don't right now. They're worth the 2 million now. They lost a couple hundred thousand.
They have like 1.5.
Exactly. So he was saying, oh, no, they'll always bottom out. Maybe they'll bottom out at 1 million.
I think they're always going to have at least 1 million because that's going to be like their white noise viewers.
That's what I'm saying, but he thought it'd be 2 million. It's getting worse and worse.
No, it's
that's
getting
what I'm
worse.
saying. But anyway, no, I don't think AEW and NXT are ever going to beat Raw. That's like saying, oh,
I think so.
Raw's going down, but NXT and AEW aren't going to improve, though, I don't think. No? I really don't. I don't think they're going to be at one point. It is so rare. I would love for anyone to point me to any wrestling show since WCW that did better in the ratings as time progressed. Honestly, any TV show really has always gone down. Not even wrestling, but like it is very rare. Unless it's like it starts out, more people talk about it and more people watch it. But even that's rare too, I feel like. I'm not a TV expert, but I highly doubt in a year from now we're going to be sitting here saying, oh wow, 1 million viewers for each NXT and AEW. I just don't think we're going to be at that point. And I don't know how many people flip back and forth and how that contributes to both ratings. I don't really know the viewership. I don't think AEW or NXT are going to beat it. The Bruce Pritchard thing, it's way too early to say. It honestly doesn't really feel like there's been much of a difference at all, for better or for worse.
Yeah, there's been some good things that I've noticed. Like, we were talking about that the other day, like Bobby Lashley.
Riot's in the show, Bobby Lashley.
But at the same time, he's just Vince's yes man.
It doesn't matter who it is at this point.
It's just Vince. Like who cares? Like, well, it's not who cares, but like, what's the difference, you know? Like, he's just gonna do whatever Vince wants. He has really no creative control. Really?
No, exactly. Not really.
So, I mean, if anything, I feel like Paul Heyman had more of his own independence, but at the same time, he had to report to Vince.
Yeah, everyone does. So, yeah, I don't really think it has anything to do with Pritchard. I mean, them getting Paul Heyman out of power was not good, but did they need a full creative overhaul? Of course. And by that, you mean get rid of Vince McMahon. That's the only answer.
They have for years.
There's no creative overhaul. Let's put X, Y, and Z in charge under Vince. If the buck still stops with Vince, it ain't gonna change shit.
As John Moxley said in Chris Jericho's podcast that I just listened to last week.
Goodness.
The whole company now, they're not working to please the fans. They're working to please Vince. That's all this is. And then the show's just a product of that.
I agree.
So, it's sad, but it's true.
Definitely agree. With the number of cinematic matches alone for the horror show at Extreme Rules this Sunday, do you feel that the pay-per-view will live up to the new name for Extreme Rules, and do you feel that this will hinder the quality of the overall matches, since you could potentially more be focusing on the cinematic match aspects throughout the whole pay-per-view? No, I don't think it's any more extreme just because it's called the horror show. There's still matches they don't have stipulations. Some of the stipulations are dumb. The swamp fight is cool. The eye for an eye thing, we talked about it last week. Dumb. Yeah. I'm sure the McIntyre Ziggler one will be dumb. Hey, maybe it'll be cool. I'm sure it'll be dumb.
You know what's even dumber is the next night they have an unsanctioned match.
The fuck's the point of that?
That makes no sense.
Makes no sense. No sense.
They should just get rid of the whole pay-per-view like we said last week.
I agree. They should just get rid of it all. Anyway, yeah, it's no more extreme than it would have been normally. The horror show thing, they should have this in October.
I know. Why, like...
The horror show at Hell in the Cell would make way more sense.
I know. What's the whole... First of all, the logo doesn't look like a horror show. It looks like Disney XD. So...
It doesn't match. The whole thing looks terrible.
No. Like, who did this? Did someone do this while they were, like, drunk or something? It looks terrible.
It's awful. But they did, I will say, they did a very cool poster for the pay-per-view with Nikki Cross mimicking the Shining poster. So she's, like, behind the door... You know, here's Johnny.
Shelly, whatever her name is.
I'm sorry, not behind the door. Like when Jack Nicholson puts his face in the door and he says, "Here's Johnny."
Yeah, isn't she like the wife? Shelly.
No. Well,
she's Johnny.
Nikki Cross is Johnny. Yeah, she's in the door.
Is his name Johnny?
No.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Why does he say, "Here's Johnny"?
I think it is Johnny.
Is it?
You want to look it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
What is his name?
Now I just confused myself. I don't think his name... No, it's Jack.
It is Jack.
But is Johnny a nickname of Jack?
Yeah, Jack all play and whatever he writes.
All work, no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Oh, wait, isn't the boy's name Johnny? Or no?
No.
Or is it the ghost or something? I don't know. Look up what the significance of Johnny is. But anyway, it's a cool poster. Next question while you're looking that up.
God, we always get off track.
So, Evil has become the new IWGP IC and World Heavyweight Double Champion by beating Tetsuya Naito at Dominion last weekend after winning the New Japan 2020 Cup and turning into his Los Ingobernables de Japón mates to join Bullet Club. Do you agree with most pro wrestling fans that this is perhaps the most shocking moment in pro wrestling in 2020? Before we go any further, what?
I found it.
What?
It does have an actual meaning.
What? I mean, I'm sure it does.
Someone said, why does Jack call himself Johnny in The Shining? Because I looked up, is Johnny the nickname of Jack? So that's just so funny how...
Is it? It is.
Yeah. Well, the first thing it says, while Jack is now a proper name on its own in English, it was traditionally used as a diminutive form of John. But this also says here, Jack Nicholson ad-libbed the line, "Here's Johnny," in imitation of announcer Ed McMahon's That's ironic. Famous introduction of Johnny Carson on U.S. network NBC TV's long-running late-night television program, The Tonight Show.
Interesting.
Johnny Carson.
Interesting.
That's so funny.
There you go. The more you know.
Never thought about that.
Well, you know what? They found out something. They found out the answer to a question that we didn't have proposed here on the show. So, yeah. That's cool.
Anyways.
The rest of his question says, also, do you feel like Gato is desperate to book this decision in the midst of having Dominion 2020 be the first ever event for any major pro wrestling company worldwide to hold events with actual crowds? Or is Gato a genius? Blah, blah, blah. So basically, you're asking about Evil, is the man's name, becoming the new IWGP IC and World Champion. Is it the most shocking moment for fans in 2020? I would really have to think what the most shocking moment would be. Edge coming back was shocking. That was rumored. This wasn't rumored or anything. I don't watch 11th. The product. I mean, yeah, the coronavirus happening was shocking enough. But, yeah, actually, you know what? To date, I'd probably say it was the most shocking move. Yeah, I'd have to really think about it. I don't watch New Japan at all, for the most part, so I can't really say. But from what I've seen based off the reaction to it, yeah, probably. Just because, they were part of Los Ingobernables de Japón for so long together, tag team partners. Naito's only been champion since January. So for the guy to lose the championship after not really having a chance to have a real run with it is disappointing. But that's the nature of the beast. That's just the story of his career, essentially, over in New Japan. But, yeah, I can't really say much more about it beyond that. Maybe they did want to get people talking, because they are just coming back. They have no fans. Or actually, I'm sorry, they do have fans, but not many. So, yeah, it's hard to say officially. But, yeah, and I don't know if they did it just to shock people. New Japan doesn't really do that. I think they did it more just because they felt it was the right move and it was time to switch things up. But anyway, we go back to the Twitter questions here. Noob_N_Co 1991. What if Sasha Banks beats Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship on Sunday? Would it hurt Asuka's push? Because I'm really tired of the whole dual champion gimmick. It worked on Becky Lynch, but it backfired. Who did it backfire with? Are you talking about with Becky? Because it didn't backfire on her. It just, lived its, it served the purpose for a month and then moved on. No, Sasha should not beat Asuka on Sunday. The only reason I think this should be happening is to tell the story that Bayley will win on Sunday. Maybe Sasha helps Bayley win. Bayley doesn't help Sasha win. And that leads to Sasha and Bayley at SummerSlam, as it should. I know people are saying Bayley and Sasha are entertaining and they should keep them together for a while. Listen, I agree with you. My issue is that Bayley has beaten everybody. Literally everybody except for Mandy and Sonya, who aren't even on the show right now, probably because of COVID stuff. COVID-related stuff. So if you're going to have them continue to reign on as tag team champions, Bayley ain't defending that championship because she's already beaten everybody so far, including Nikki Cross on Sunday. So the answer is no, she's not going to win, Sasha, but they should drop the tag titles before SummerSlam. They should face off at SummerSlam, in my opinion. And would it hurt Asuka's push? Yeah, a little bit. She's only been champion for 2 months. So for her to beat Nia Jax twice and then lose it to Sasha, I mean, she's not buried, but it's not ideal either. I think Asuka should hold on to it for a while. But
I think she should, especially because Becky had it for so long.
Yeah, not 2 months. 2 months isn't terrible. It's better than a day or two, but
I mean,
at
least
SummerSlam.
Not good. 2 months.
And all things considered, 60 days ain't really much. But at least SummerSlam, maybe she drops it to Shayna or Kyrie, which I doubt. But either way, I think, I don't think Sasha should beat Asuka. I don't think she will beat Asuka. What are your thoughts on Kairi Sane facing Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at some point? I would say that this will be an entertaining and emotional storyline for everyone to see. I say it'll be awesome at SummerSlam to either write off Kairi off of TV if she really is leaving WWE. Some of the questions are a bit oddly worded, but anyway, basically what he's asking, Kairi Asuka SummerSlam, would you book it?
I like that. Obviously don't have her win. I mean...
You could, but I don't think she should.
What? She should win? No,
I wouldn't have Kairi win. I think there's more people for Asuka to face, including maybe Bianca, but definitely Shayna.
Oh,
Shayna and Asuka writes itself. So, I mean...
And then Shayna can just rip her apart. If anything, her beating Asuka makes her look better than her beating Becky because Asuka couldn't beat... Or Becky couldn't beat Asuka. So Asuka's kind of like...
Oh, okay.
And doesn't she have a better win-loss record? So it makes Shayna look even better if she beat Asuka than Becky.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
So,
yeah,
that's just me looking on the bright side of things. But Kairi...
I like Kairi, but I don't think she'll win.
I mean, I don't really care about Kairi. I used to, but, meh. Mm-hmm. But it'd be cool if she had a title match against Asuka. I kind of like them together because it gives Kairi something to do, because otherwise I don't think they'd do anything with her. I don't really...
No, absolutely not.
So I wouldn't want them to be against each other. If it's like some sort of friendly competition, that makes sense. That's
what they made it sound like on Raw Talk this week. So
yeah,
I would love to see it. They made it sound like it would happen on Raw. They didn't say that, but I get the feeling it would happen on Raw. Shayna comes out, beats the shit out of Kairi. We don't see Kairi again, and then we get Shayna versus Asuka at SummerSlam. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I like that.
Though I would personally have Asuka and Kairi at SummerSlam and then do what I just mentioned at the pay-per-view, but they probably won't do that. Would that be Kairi's swan song? I mean, it feels like it. I don't want it to be. I don't want her to leave, but it seems like that's a possibility.
I think she needs to leave.
I don't think she needs to. I think they could use her.
But
I think
she wants to be with her husband, then...
I mean, if it's a personal thing, but she may just get over it. I don't know. I'm not sure. or deal with it, excuse me.
Get over it. Get over it. You can't see her husband.
Deal with it.
Deal with it, bitch.
At Iwagu91 from Twitter, do you think that Michael Cole is the commentator most synonymous, with calling Brock Lesnar's matches? I'm going to say no. When I think of Brock Lesnar matches, I don't think to myself, oh, Michael Cole's got to call the match. He's got to be on commentary. Like, I think that way. When I think of a Stone Cold match, I think of Jim Ross.
Yeah.
That's who I think of. When I think of Brock, honestly, I don't think of Michael Cole. I know he's been around the longest. I think of Taz. Taz used to call a lot of Brock's matches on SmackDown back in 02, 03, 04. And he would always say when Brock came out, oh, here comes the pain. Here comes the pain. Like, that was his signature catchphrase for Brock. So, no, I don't really think that at all. His second question, which promotion do you think Tessa Blanchard should go to? WWE or AEW? I've discussed this before, but they gotta wait. I think AEW isn't interested in it, nor they shouldn't be.
I don't think she should go to AEW, because I also just feel like I'm thinking of it as like her as a genuine person.
That's what I'm saying. It's not as a wrestler, because as a wrestler, listen, amazing that she's a star. It's a great get. The issue is that if they sign her, either company, but specifically AEW, with how they're promoting all of this like positive stuff, we're gonna suspend Sammy for saying the rape thing.
Yeah, they're very like inclusive and just very I don't want to say
PC, but I know what you were saying.
But
in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. They're very like we're gonna get like everybody that's doing things wrong, we're gonna make sure that they know what they did is wrong, and they're potentially not gonna be working with us anymore. WWE, however, has a lot of problematic people that work for them, so AEW seems to be very clean of that stuff. So I think they do not want Tessa. But it's ironic because doesn't her dad work there? So like that's a little confusing, but I think she also doesn't want to be at AEW. I feel like she wants to be with WWE.
I feel like she does too. I think either company would be great from a personal standpoint. I highly doubt Brandy Rhodes would want her anywhere near AEW.
That's a good point.
Honestly.
Yeah, I just don't think that's her place at all.
I don't know what her thoughts are on Tessa, but just with how Tessa has acted and stuff she said in the past that she never apologized for.
That's another thing. It's like if you don't say you're truly
sorry.
Well,
she denied it, so in her mind she doesn't have to say sorry. And maybe she didn't, but I feel like there's so many accounts against her of her saying what she did. There's got to be some smoke to the fire there. So
that's the problem. It's like if you deny it, or you don't say you're sorry, or you don't really acknowledge that it actually happened, then clearly you still think that way. If it really happened.
Yeah, it's just
all
weird.
Alleged.
It's weird. So I think she is going to WWE at some point. I just don't think, and I said this a week or two ago, they gotta stray away from signing her right now. Mm-hmm. Listen, if she showed up on Raw tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. It'd be a cool moment.
It'd be a slap in the face to all the other women.
But when you really let it sink in, it's like, okay, they probably shouldn't have done that. Go ahead.
Another thing is, once they sign her, because, that's going to inevitably happen, I feel like, if no one else wants her. But if she wants to go there and they end up going through with it, it's like, why didn't they just use all the other women before that? Like they thought in their minds, okay, we need to hire a new star, and we need to make her the top star. That's like a big fuck you to all the other women that work there.
Well, they already have Shayna and Bianca and everyone else they're not already doing enough with. Yeah, Naomi's been there forever.
If I were Shayna, I'd be like, I'm going to AEW. Like, this is ridiculous. Which I think she should go there, but...
Because what would stop them from not using Tessa? They could bring her in and not do shit with her. She could be on main event next week.
Oh, WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she would.
What I'm saying is, Like, that's like, I compare it all the time to, like, when I was in theater in high school. If I'm here and I'm a senior and I want to be a main character, and this has happened to me before, and a freshman or a sophomore or junior gets the main part, even though I've been here busting my ass, and I get, like, not a lead, but, like, maybe a supporting character, I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, what the heck? I've been here the whole time. Like, someone just walks in and they can get the top...
I agree.
The top role. Why don't you make us, practice and work for it? It's ridiculous.
I agree. It's like that whole rumor thing about Chelsea Green going to the main roster. Why, though? I mean, listen, I think it would be cool. The issue is that they're already not doing anything with anyone on SmackDown or Raw with the women, for the most part. So why would she be any different?
Yeah, it's not nearly as bad with the men as it is with the women. And what's even worse is...
No, because there's less spots for the women, usually.
Well, what's even worse is they have even more men, but the men get treated better than the women, and they don't, like, they have a lot less women. It's like you could do more with less people, They have so many men's wrestlers that it almost makes sense for them to forget about paying attention to them.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's like, what the hell? You're talking about this women's evolution, and you just bring in a new wrestler that you never even focused on us? It's ridiculous.
I know. I agree. His next question, do you think Triple H has had bad luck when it comes to the main eventing WrestleMania? The matches he's had are not well received. Even the acclaimed triple threat match at WrestleMania 20 is not brought up by the company due to a certain wrestler who won the match. Again, what are your thoughts? We're talking about Chris Benoit.
Oh. I had a feeling about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, he's main evented a few WrestleManias, and all the WrestleManias I can think of were not great. So, no, yeah, Triple H is not a WrestleMania. He is a WrestleMania main eventer. The matches were shit, though. The WrestleMania 21 was great. I agree with you there. But all the other ones were not great. The Jericho one at WrestleMania 18, mediocre. The WrestleMania 2000 main event was shit. The WrestleMania 25 main event with Randy Orton was beyond mediocre. The Roman Reigns match from WrestleMania 32, that was a shit. That was a shit fest, too. Just a flat-out poop fest. But, yeah, no, he's definitely not known for his great WrestleMania main events. He's had a lot of good WrestleMania matches, but in terms of WrestleMania main events, yeah, no. Actually, I will say the WrestleMania 21 main event with Batista was very good, but when you compare those two against the other 3 or 4 that I mentioned, it's not a great track record. I've seen worse WrestleMania main eventers, but he certainly is not the best by any means. At Scarlet 1, let me just double check. I didn't write down this question initially. Best and worst of the Wednesday Night Wars, number 39. So best and worst of Great American Bash Night 2 and Fyter Fest Night 2. From what I can remember, at Fyter Fest, the Paige and Omega versus Private Party match was good. The Nyla Rose squash was what it was. What else did they do last week?
Jericho and Orange Cassidy.
Oh, that was a good match. I enjoyed that. I thought that was good. What else did they do last week? They did the Dark Order thing with Colt.
Joey Janela and Lance Archer.
The match was fine. It should not have gone 12 minutes.
No, of course not.
What a fucking joke.
Should have been 5 minutes.
What a joke.
It's ridiculous.
But it was a good show overall. And then, like, the FTW title thing. Who gives a fuck? I didn't give a shit. From NXT, obviously Keith Lee and Adam Cole was a great match.
That was awesome.
Very good main event. What else did they do last week? Fuck. This was only a week ago. Like, I watched so much wrestling, it's hard to remember. What else did they do last week? It's gonna fucking bother me now. I'm gonna have to go look up the results.
Did they have the cruiserweight match on?
Oh yeah, it was Drake and Breezango versus Legado del Fantasma. That was good. Oh, the Candice and Mia Yim street fight. How could I forget about that? That was a really good match too. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Let me just double check what else was from the show.
Oh my god, I just realized I have little birthmarks on my arm that are in the shape of a Little Dipper. You guys.
You're so weird.
Look at that. The dipper. The handle.
Who's going to look at it? Me?
Yeah. Well, okay. No, yeah, everyone look at it on your podcast.
Bronson Reed versus Tony Nese. Served the purpose. Johnny Gargano and Isaiah Swerve Scott was a good match. And the re-debut of Mercedes Martinez. I forgot about that. That was a great match. Not a great match, but it was cool to see.
I love her.
I'm glad she's back. Doesn't look like she's going to be managed by Robert Stone, by the way. which is good. She walked past him backstage in a .com exclusive when he was like, "Oh, help me," and she just walked right past him. So.
Good. She's gonna be the next Shayna Baszler.
Hopefully.
In NXT.
I like Mercedes.
I love her. And no one else noticed this, but I did. She's from Connecticut. They announced her as from Bronx, New York. So
well, I mean, no one gives a shit unless they're from Connecticut.
Well, yeah. Of course. But
I mean, we care, but yeah.
I care, yes.
I care.
That's why I was initially interested in her, because I've never heard any other wrestler other than, like, Triple H being from Connecticut.
I was going to say, it's not that intimidating to say, oh, you're from Connecticut.
Yeah.
Triple H was from Connecticut because he had that stuck-up character, so from Greenwich, like, it makes sense.
It makes sense that they would have her from the Bronx, because when you think
of the Bronx... Badass, yeah.
Yeah, when you think of the Bronx, you think of the Bronx, like,
yeah, that's why
tough
they did that.
Bitch.
Maybe she lives there now. I don't know, but...
She probably... either is in, I mean, Waterbury, Connecticut. If you're from Connecticut, you're like, oh, Waterbury.
I know, but no one knows that.
Well, obviously, but that's why she originally caught my eye, because I'm like, oh, like, you literally never hear people from Connecticut, so this is interesting. Or from Waterbury,
it'd be like Hartford or like New Haven, like the major cities.
like I've actually been to Waterbury a handful of times.
Oh shit, I probably drove by her house, like, you know what I mean? Hopefully not weird.
Yeah.
We'll close out with this question from... at @RJ_Marceau, Mr. Marceau.
RJ!
It seems to be a lost art in wrestling, but when was the last time someone was put over and it actually elevated their career? I will even accept looking great in defeat, which also got them over. I feel like he's asking this question. It's stemming from the Orange Cassidy Jericho thing, where he looked good in defeat. Where the fuck does he go from here? I just don't really know what you do with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I have a couple examples, though, of people that were either put over and it helped their careers, or they looked good in defeat and they were still elevated. We just talked about her. Tessa Blanchard is one. She faced Sami Callihan at Slammiversary a year ago. She came away from that match a bigger star than she was before. She beat Gail Kim right before that on pay-per-view, and it was a great match.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the best women's matches I've seen from that company in a long time. And they have a very good women's division. Mm-hmm. And she felt like a bigger star coming out of it. So she's one. Drew McIntyre. I mean, obviously, him beating Brock elevated him. He was a nobody a year ago. We liked Drew, but he was a nobody.
Yeah.
So him beating Brock and Seth and Bobby has all elevated Drew McIntyre. So it's worked. It may not stick a year from now. Kofi was put over huge. He was elevated, but now he's a loser.
It's so funny. Like it's so funny how you can just shit on someone's career in 2 seconds. Like, he went from being a top champion to, like, tag team guy.
You're getting beat by Shinsuke Nakamura last week on SmackDown.
That's insane.
It's just bizarre, but McIntyre got put over strong. AJ Styles, when he he beat John Cena a few times years ago, he went from being a B-plus player to being a top, like, I can't imagine, like, even if he's in the mid-card range, like, he's the IC champion right now, AJ Styles, he's always a top-tier performer. He's never on main event.
Yeah.
He's always a main event level guy, no matter what he's in. Mm-hmm. Daniel Bryan's the same way. When he went over at WrestleMania years ago, he went from being, like, just mid-card, whatever, who gives a shit.
Did you say when AJ Styles faced The Undertaker? Is that what you said?
No, I said when he faced John Cena a couple of years ago, when he first came into the company. That elevated him. And then finally, an example that you would know, other than Drew, Rhea Ripley. I mean, they put her over huge last year.
Yeah.
War Games, Survivor Series, beat Shayna. Huge. Mm-hmm. Obviously, all that good work was completely ruined when she lost to Charlotte fucking Flair WrestleMania. But that's besides the point.
Keith
Lee's also been elevated big time.
And he actually is now a top champion.
Yeah, he looked great in defeat at Survivor Series.
Yeah, he did. He looked great in the Royal Rumble, too.
Yeah, and he lost both matches. That's a good example. So.
That was funny the way he said. And he lost both matches. He's a loser.
No, but he's also saying, like, who looked good in defeat, which also got them over.
No,
that got him over. Yeah. I mean, it would have been cool if he won, but he didn't need to win. He didn't need to beat Roman Reigns, because if he beat Roman Reigns, I would hope he's on fucking Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
But he didn't, so it makes sense that he's still in that next
At that point, making the top champion if he beat Roman.
It's stupid, so I'm glad that... That's not dumb. But anyway, he's an example. There's more than you think in every company. It's not widespread, because, there's a lot of times where people get built up, lose, then they go nowhere. Charlotte Flair. Shayna Baszler, same thing. Shayna won the Elimination Chamber main event. Squashed all 5 women in like 10 minutes.
Yep.
Completely gone from TV 2 months later.
And then she's in Money in the Bank and, like, randomly disappears and isn't in the match.
And lost. Loser. Like, she lost all of her pay-per-view matches. She has yet to win a single... Actually, no, she won Elimination Chamber.
No, she came back, But
we'll see what they do with her.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not looking I'm like, oh, that's cool, but like at the same
I'm
time,
not optimistic.
Oh,
Cautiously,
face you made was so funny.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether they'll do the right thing with her or not.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think that's all the questions for this week.
One more note for RJ. When are we having a Snapchat streak? Dude, come on.
What do you mean when? Did he not snap you today?
I think he did.
Double check.
But we don't have a Snapchat streak yet. What the heck?
What's a more iconic streak? The Snapchat streak or the Undertaker streak?
Well, I don't know. Let me check. Let me check my notes.
Check my notes. Duh. Check no. It's obviously the Undertaker. Anyway, that is it. That's it. That's all she wrote for and sent in the questions for episode 346 of #AskGSM here today for Wednesday, July 17th. Almost at 17th. It's the 15th. 346, July 15th. Tax day, baby. 2020. We'll be back next week. When I say we, I mean me. Alexis probably won't be here. And maybe we'll do another live episode. Maybe for 350 or at some point down the road. We'll see.
365.
Why? Maybe.
What?
That'd be kind of cool.
Because it'd be like a full year of
Well,
just episodes of #.
You could watch an episode a day and you would get through the entire year.
Yeah.
Amazing. But anyway, if you want to send a question to the show, you could do so by tweeting me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the #AskGSM. Find me on Facebook. Find me on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/Graham.GSM.Matthews. Either put the comment on the post that I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last, but certainly not least, drop your question down below, and I'll include your question in next week's edition. I know you're Snapchatting me right now, and you're going to send it to Mr. Marceau.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're pointing the camera right fucking at me, and I know this is going to Mr. Marceau. He's getting a sneak peek before it goes live on the YouTube machine. So with all that being said, we had a great time here. Alexis, thank you for joining us again.
Of course.
She took you fucking long.
Sorry.
Get off your goddamn phone.
I enjoy doing these.
And this is it. You'll be gone forever.
No.
You retired.
Oh, God.
You said this was your retirement match.
No.
You said this was the last ride.
No.
But you said if GSM calls you, I may consider it, all right?
Stop.
Yeah, check out the documentary on the network, folks. Have a great one, folks. Enjoy NXT Dynamite tonight. The Wednesday Night Wars. Ooh, 1.5 million viewers. Oh, that's so much. It's not. Have a great one, guys. Graham, GSM, Matthews for Alexis. We'll catch your ass down the road.